Thank you very much. Hope you can all hear me. I'm on before lunch, so I'm sure you want me to be quick. But I'm going to ask you a question. Has anybody been forced to come here today? Brian Whitney's nodding in the corner. That's the question I always ask when I do the training courses. Because I think, well, this is all about professional development. It's all about developing yourself. So and it's a great answer. You've all come because you want to be here. How many people have I trained in the last year on a PWI training course? Any guess of any numbers? It's above 100. I'd like it to be 1,000, but it was 500 this year I've trained on PWI training. Pretty good. How many people have qualified as professional engineers in the last 5 years in PWI? How many qualified professional engineers have we got? 80, somebody said. Should be 400 by the end of this year. That's pretty good in 6 years since I've been technical director, so 400. In terms of the number of qualified engineers in Network Rail, we've probably got less than that in terms of other institutions as well. So we're becoming the major institution for professional qualifications. I just want to talk about that to you because that's what I'm here to talk about. It's very exciting and it's a great place to be. Let's hope I can go. So, are you professionally qualified? And why aren't you? Looking at this here, why you should be. I'm not going to go around and ask everybody here, but I know quite a lot of people are professionally qualified here. So it's becoming very important within the industry. I know some people now are telling me within this company and others, you need that to get your next job. That's an important thing. But I think the one thing I like about all this, having been on the railway for quite a few years, it's just about your experience turning you into a real professional. Because that's what it's all about. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today for the rest of the day. And a bit of status and recognition of who you are. A lot of people have put hours and hours into this railway. What have they got out of it for themselves? So it's really, to me, it's about what you can do to improve yourself. It's all about you and what you do. And coming here today, the first question, why are you here? It's a bit of CPD. It's meeting people. This is what the PWI does. We have 4 or 5 of these every year, a chance to get together, talk to friends, talk to colleagues, perhaps have a drink later on, that sort of thing. Social interaction, but it's about being a professional in how you do it. So basically, what is professional registration? If you're not clear, there may be 1 or 2 people here, or there certainly are people in your teams, I know don't understand it, but in the UK, it's different than in other countries in the world. To be professionally qualified, you've got to have this link between academic and experience. Now, you can either be academic from going to university or you can gain it on the job, but you've got to be experienced. So in other words, you're effectively licensed to operate and design and sign off stuff. So we've got all these levels. We've got engineering technicians, we've got incorporated engineers, chartered engineers, and a lot of people are multiples as well. So these are the levels we've got. I've got nearly 400. I want 500 by the end of next year. I'm pushing forward for this. It's a big thing for the PWI. And why is it a big thing? Mainly because we do need professional engineers. We need engineers who have passion for the railway engineers who can make it work better for the benefit of the public. I've enjoyed my career. I certainly hope I've benefited people. But we have got a lot of challenges, and we've been talking about them, and Gareth is saying he's got loads of money to sort out the challenges, which is great. And I know that some people in the technical authority are helping us on that technical side as well, because we just don't know what's going to happen. Predictions, talk about climate change, we're very much into that. But if you look down this list of stuff I've put on the slide here, it's skill shortages, it's a different world we live in. And it's all about equality, diversity and inclusion as well. You know, and that's really, really good. And that's a very important part of what being a professional engineer means. So the routes to professional, there's a standard route I'm sure you're all aware of. You go to the university, you get, like I did as a graduate, you get a bachelor's degree or an MSc, and that's the route. But we do have the individual route. And the individual route is the important thing that I'm talking to you about today. So we've got the technical report, but we've got this new fantastic thing called experiential learning, which we've been running now for about 18 months. So technical report, if you haven't got qualifications above level 3, in other words, you've never been to college, this technical report route. I like people to go to college. I'm working with lots of colleges and universities at the moment. I've had some discussions already. I think it's good to get technical qualifications. And that's how what I think about what we should be doing. But the technical report route is for those people who haven't got those, and it involves doing a special report. But the experiential learning is shorter. As I say on my red part here, it's more streamlined. It's without interview. There's 1 or 2 people in the room. I know I've done it. It's a simplified way of explaining that with your experience, you can move on to get professionally qualified. And I know that a lot of people are working at higher levels than they're qualified to be. Loads of people on the railway are working at a higher level. So why not get the letters after your name and become part of this amazing community? So it's very simple. It's further learning through experience, but it's reflection. And this is the important feature with experiential learning. It's reflection of what you've done and how you can make it better. I'm delighted by the previous presentation on Insight. When I was in BR and when I was Balfour Beatty, we're trying desperately to get a system to work. This system seems to be working. So it's reflecting what we've done in the past and making it better for the future. And that's what we're here to do. So who's eligible? This is the final bits of detail here. If you want to go for chartered engineer, if you've got an accredited bachelor degree, you can do it without doing a master's degree. So, or you can do it through the experiential route before that. But we've had quite a few people going through to become chartered engineers through this route. If you want to do iEng, the route is limited to those people who've got an HNC. So if you've got an HNC or above, you can do experiential learning to incorporated engineer. So it doesn't matter what it's in, but or some equivalent sort of grade. But the most important thing is that you're competent. You've still got to demonstrate your competence and ability to do to become an incorporated or chartered engineer. And that's where we want people to be. One of the things I like about the way the railway is at the moment is it's a progressive organisation. I love talking to apprentices, and I love talking to those apprentices who see they've got a future. So they come in as apprentices and they can come out as chartered engineers. That route is available, and it's great to see the industry supporting everybody to get to that point. Just a quick one on the technical differences. I work a lot with Engineering Council, as you know, and this is how they define the two. So an incorporated engineer deals with broadly defined problems, and the chartered engineer tends to deal with the more complex problems. That's the sort of definition of how it works. So, but, you know, we've got plenty of people to help. We've got loads of people who are trained up to do assessment in this area. So if you don't understand where you're going to be, then talk to us. We've already got about 300 names on our database at the moment. Liz and Charlotte are at the outside there. They're our registration team. They're there to help you. They're on the end of a phone. Not many institutions can say that they've got people at the end of a phone. They will talk to you. Everybody is different. Everybody's got a different view on where they want to be in the future. And I accept that very much. It's an individual thing, but I think it's important for us in this community, particularly track maintenance, to think about each other and where we're going. So how do we do it? Very simple. It's an extended CV, your certificates if you need them. We do need CPD records. You've got CPD today, that's what we're doing, and a sponsor endorsement. And we have, funnily enough, one of the things we put into this, which is a bit quite unusual perhaps, is that to do experiential learning, you've got to get somebody to sign you off, a boss, a colleague, to say that you have done this. In other words, we can't just say you've made up that experience. You've got to have somebody to say, this person has that experience. And what you do, it's a very simple form to fill in terms of how you've got that experience, and each form must have a reflective statement. So basically, if you look at these 4 things, you have to write 500 words about how you understand all that lot. Not big. If you just sit back and think about what you do at work, I'm absolutely sure that you could write 500 to 700 words against any of those on your experience. I'm pretty sure you could. So we've streamlined it, we've made it simple, so that people aren't spending hours writing all this stuff up. And it's a great achievement to get over that line. The reflective statements, as I've mentioned, are required to understand how you've got to that position. How did you become knowledgeable and experienced in that area? What are your lessons learned? How did you do it? And that's really where it stands. So that's what it's all about. But just in summary, I just think it's ideal for railway people. I think it's a great route. I think it suits the railway very well, because a lot of people started at the sharp end and built their way up to these positions, and they deserve to be recognised, and that's what I'm here about. But the one final thing I'll leave you with before I have the next little session is what I've got in there. It gives you life choices. It's nothing to do with Network Rail. There's nothing to do with whatever company you're from, but you then, with being professionally qualified, have a choice. So you can either stay in that job, you can go and do something else, because it's that stays with you as an individual. And you may not want to work every Sunday or every night. You might want to go on the consultancy side. You might want to do something else with your life, other commitments and all the rest of it. And I believe very strongly that having the professional qualification gives you choices for life. And so I'll leave on that. And I hope I haven't gone over too much. I think about 2 minutes over there, but that's been okay. Thank you very much for listening to me.